her. Oh my God, here today. She said, "Do you think that Rihanna will show up at one of our shows?"
No, I did not say that. I said, "Do you think that she'll call me?" I think that Rihanna and I could be friends. Like in that way that like there's like an odd couple. Like Rihanna is like so pretty and she has nice clothes, and I would show up in a hoodie and I'd be like, "Let's go to that place where you get yogurt in LA, where you get fresh fruit." Like just as friends.
I think it's just gonna have to be just friends.
I didn't mean that. I just mean like I'm not trying to like be her best friend. I'm not even trying to be like a confidant. I just like, you know, yogurt, fruit, mix.
I'll be your friend.
Your voice does not sound as silky smooth as Rihanna. She would say like, "Should I get raspberries or strawberries?" Aries. I love her. Okay, that's weird.
I actually, sometimes when I'm singing that song, I think to myself, it's a Rihanna song, right? And Rihanna, she's such a babe, and she sings that song like to stand under her umbrella. Like both literally and metaphorically speaking, I would like to stand under her umbrella. I bet some of you would like to stand under her umbrella as well, so.
Anyways, I do love my mother, and I just want to say that I think that my mom, look, there's only a few people in this world who can look as good as Rihanna, but my mom is pretty close.
Now that Rihanna and I are engaged, I just feel like I have to play this every night. Yeah! Is my fiance, Keegan.
That's such a great song, Sarah. I think it's really impressive that you wrote that. I don't think it's really for the pop star you and Marina. Don't stop. My wife, I want to give her credit for writing that song. Rihanna? She's a really fine lady. She's a fine woman.
I loved Rihanna's last record. I thought that those were really good pop songs. I started going through an R&B, hip-hop, mainstream kind of phase again. Like I really loved the Rihanna record, and I was about to call her Riri. That's what I affectionately call her behind, not in the public eye, so it's an accident to say that. It's a funny thing, love, because
someone who writes about it all the time becomes ultimately incredibly anti-love.
No, I don't feel anti-love. I feel suspicious of love, and I feel suspicious of what it means to be in love, and I also feel suspicious of what it feels to feel pretend love for someone that you don't know. Like, for example, I'm in love with Rihanna. But I don't...
But are you really? Because you've never met her, how do you know?
But it's weird because, I mean, she does something inside of me that, like, real life people have done for me. And I've never even met her.
That's a weird statement.
Well...
She's never been inside of you, so that's weird to say.
Eek.
Yeah.
I apologize if this is an all ages event and there's someone really offended, for example, a parent. And it's not even I'm just kidding. I don't even think I feel that way about Rihanna, but I just like to say it.
Nope.
Just so it doesn't make me seem like a robot.
No.
So, anyways.
I just have been studying Rihanna a lot. Sarah really... She would like to actually study under Rihanna directly, but it said, no, not like that, you weirdos. Snap.
Sarah's going through this really weird phase that I think, like, maybe teenager boys go through and then grow out of, but Sarah's going through it at 29, where she objectifies women all the time. I don't think it's objectifying to say that someone's attractive. No, I don't think it is either, but like, okay, the other day we were in rehearsal. The other day we were in rehearsal, and our tour manager came back from the store, and he brought a copy of GQ with Rihanna on the cover, and he tossed it down on the table in the rehearsal spot and was like, and Sarah was like, oh yeah. And then like starts flipping through it. Like I was like watching this whole thing, like I was watching a teenager She's like flipping through to the middle of the magazine, opens it up, and she's like, wow, and like turns, like she's never seen Rihanna's breasts pushed down in a weird t-shirt before. So then she's like, I need to take this because I'm going to put this up in my bunk on the bus. I mean, I think it's good because most women look in magazines and then they just feel bad about themselves, but Sarah looks in magazines and she's all like, I could get with her. That was the equivalent of saying, like, maybe if I try hard enough, I can find a unicorn on Craigslist and buy it.
I was watching some of your onstage banter, and I can't remember who was saying who was perving over some like Rihanna cover.
I think there were a lot of years where I felt ashamed to acknowledge being attracted to anyone, you know, publicly because of whatever, like trying to figure out if it was like feminist or respectful, and then also sometimes just feeling like even when you just said Rihanna, I was filled with shame because there was a lot of years where I was like, Rihanna's my celebrity crush. And then at some point I actually remember thinking, what if Rihanna finds out that I have a crush on her? Like, is she gonna be like grossed out?
Right.
No. Yes, and I thought started to be like, I don't want.
She fucking love it. Are you kidding?
I was like, I don't want Rihanna to be grossed out by me. But you know, like I remember thinking, like, am I being like a gross person? Like always being like, oh, Riri, or like people in the audience would bring like those sticks with like Rihanna's face on them, and they would like hold them up, and I was like, I'm just feeling weird. You know,
I felt
like,
guilty about that, and now we're fine with it. Yeah. It's like,
now we like it.
yeah, I'll be any of the women we've talked about's Little Spoon. It's great to be the Little Spoon. It's great to be the Little Spoon.
This song is not necessarily something that I am good at doing. It's just something that I wanted to try to do, and it was the first time that I ever tried to write a song. Because that didn't have to do with guitars, it just had to do with how much I like Rihanna.
Sarah's been dedicating Alligator to Rihanna for the last like 5 years.
I wouldn't say I'm a hip hop artist. I like to think of myself as more like the indie rock Rihanna. You know?
Sans red hair.
I just like can throw out the hooks, you know, like Dr. Hook, but me, you know? I actually am trying to steal Rihanna's hair, sort of circa 2006.
Who are your current heartthrobs?
This is a tough one because I almost feel like as an adult you shouldn't have a heartthrob, or it sort of feels embarrassing to admit that you have one, but
you must have one.
I mean,
Daniel Craig.
Okay, everyone knows that Tegan is very into Daniel Craig. It's confusing for everyone. It's confusing. He's so strong looking.
Yeah.
And pretty. I don't know. I'm having a really. I'm like Rachel Weisz. That's Daniel's wife.
Okay.
I like her too.
Apparently Tegan is
Alicia Keys, so into it. I mean, I like Alicia Keys too. Okay, fine. It took 3, but okay, Alicia Keys. Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
Like, I love Alicia Keys so much. I'm so in love with her, but actually for a lot of years I felt really shy to say that publicly because I was afraid that she would find out and then she would like get me, I don't know, she would ban me or something. Like she'd be like, she's obsessed. Like sometimes people, well, Alicia Keys and Rihanna, I would talk about them all the time, and then people started bringing like signs and putting their faces on it, like Rihanna and Alicia Keys' faces on the signs, but I was like, I think this is creepy. I think it's creepy at this point. But anyway,
I was so stoked the other day. I saw Rihanna tweeting about politics, and I was like, yes, Riri, yes. I love Rihanna so much, and like she was like my celebrity crush for so long, and then I just kind of like.
Have you met her?
No, I would die. I don't even want to. I just would die.
We're gonna make sure that never happens.
Don't ever let her. No, I feel like she would just be like back off.
I'm gonna call someone.
Don't let her.
I don't
meet
think
me.
Sarah and Riri will ever run in the same circle.
You don't know that. I could meet Rihanna. I mean, I have such respect for her as an artist. I think she's just like, she's one of my favorite artists. But I was so excited to see her stepping up, and she went to the Women's March in New York City, and I was like, yes, Riri, I love you.
You know, we were always the kind of musicians, artists that wrote our own music. We didn't study guitar, so when we started our band, we never did cover songs. And then once we got into the industry, people would ask us all the time to do cover songs, and we'd done a couple, but never really played them live. Like we tried, and we would all argue in rehearsal about what we were going to do for a tour. And then Sarah came to us one day. This was very like early on in our career when Rihanna's Umbrella came out.
And Sarah was obsessed with Rihanna. I mean, we all were, but she was like, I think we should cover Umbrella. And this was like before indie rock bands would cover pop music. So everybody was a little like, well, how are we going to do that? And the first night when we started playing it and we started to sing the verse, I don't think a lot of people knew what song we were doing. And when we hit the pre-chorus and chorus, I still can remember the feeling of the crowd like starting to figure out what was happening, and they started to freak out, and everyone just started pulling cell phones out. And you know, like we were still a pretty small band, so we weren't used to that kind of response to things. And I remember the next day getting to the show and people had like little signs and they were like, play Umbrella. And I was like, oh no, we've unleashed a monster. But there's something about taking, I mean, back then, this is why we were so interested in pop music, is there was something about taking a song that was so commercial and so mainstream when we were not commercial and mainstream, and reinterpreting it and realizing like the lyrics resonated with the audience, they resonated with us. And I think it was the beginning of our journey towards doing pop music, because you could be intelligent about pop music. You know, pop music's hard. It's hard to write a song that can bring a whole room of different people together, you know, and yeah, so that was the beginning of our covering pop songs. And
yeah, it's funny too, because the thing that I really liked about Umbrella, it's sort of narcissistic, but I had never really, not recently anyways, I hadn't heard a woman, especially not a woman in pop, sing in a way that felt very, to me, very like masculine and very blocky, like the way that the Ella, A, and we were touring an album where we were just starting to do a lot of that, actually. And like there's a song on that record that we were touring called Like O, Like H, and like the chorus is just like O, like H, you know, like it's just like this kind of like repeated chant. And Umbrella was not that dissimilar. And I think I just like really liked the kind of arrangement of it. I thought it was really, really unique for a pop song, because pop a lot of times, especially for females, it's like these big soaring vocals. And I still think Rihanna is such a trailblazer, because she sort of like, she does it it's not very often that she sort of sings in that traditional like female soaring vocal. She just doesn't really do that, and I thought that was really cool.
What artist is your dream collaboration?
Oh God, just off the top of my head, Rihanna. For some reason, thinking about me and Rihanna, even just like standing next to each other, is hysterical.
What famous person would you ask to take a photo at the airport, and even if you were ashamed of that?
I would never approach Riri. She would be furious with me.
Who would you love to collaborate with on your next album?
I used to say Rihanna.
Can you walk me through what collaboration with Rihanna is like? Just give me a little, like, is it songwriting together?
I think it's just, yeah, like being on a track together.
Being on a track
Yeah, like
together.
she sings, I sing. So you probably don't sing. We probably don't invite you.
I'm gonna throw to another video now. This is Rihanna, who I love, and it's my ringtone. I'd sing it for you now, but I'm not really a singer, so.
I wrote this one for Rihanna. I'm not even joking. Yeah, she's so pretty. I wrote this one because I was trying to think about, like, I love that song that she put out, like What Feels Like Forever Ago, about cheating on her boyfriend, and it's like this equals the same as killing him. You know what I'm talking about? It's kind of, yeah. Okay, great. It was popular here, so you guys know. So, but I was thinking I wanted a song like that, so I wrote this like piano part, which John is gonna play. But I wrote this piano part and was like, I just want to write like a video, like where I would be sitting at a piano and I would be like, you know, my face would be tear streaked. It would be my first time crying on video, and you know, Sarah would be dressed all in white, and she would also be sitting on the piano, but she would be more serious. And then, you know, there would be like a love story, like, you know, where people were upset and maybe, you know, like breaking up and then getting back together and breaking up and getting back together. So this is my attempt at that. So if you might want to close your eyes while I'm singing the song and imagine me crying at a piano and Sarah dressed in white. Okay, here we go.